this moment will come. We just never know when. I've spent my whole life chasing something. Not belts, not money, not headlines, but that feeling, the one you get when the world doubts you, but you keep showing up and you keep proving to everyone wrong.
Hey man, look, man, y'all check this out. I caught the news last night. My mind was in a flurry, didn't know what to do with it. But let's put it like this, man. My favorite fighter of the last decade, one of the most decorated fighters in boxing, number one on the pound for pound list, and multiple times throughout his career, 3 times officially undisputed. I'm gonna circle back to that because people don't really know about that. 3 times undisputed in the 4 belt era. Um, my guy Terrence Bud Crawford, Mr. 24/7, Mr. 365, Mr. All Day, Every Day, man. Never let you down. What I always told y'all that are fans of this channel, man, you always bet on Bud, bro. Bud ain't gonna let you down. Bud is not gonna let you down, bro. I'm trying to tell you. Ah man. So Bud hangs it up, man. 42-0. No draws, no losses, man. A great illustrious career. Hangs it up at 38. Still got a little pep in his step to be 38. 38 is old in sports. 38 is young in life. 38 is old in sports, especially a physical sport like boxing, especially for the guys that go pro at such a young age like Bud did. When you go pro that young, then those fights add up and them years add up. And for Bud to look the way he looked in his last fight against Canelo, man, it's just a testament to how much he trained and how hard he worked. You know what I mean? How much hours he put in the gym, keeping himself young and spry, man. I think for me, first time I really seen Bud fight was Gamboa, the Gamboa fight. That's like 2014. Saw the fight, became a fan immediately, man. This dude, he can switch hit. He can hit from both sides. That it's a real commodity. No, not much people can hit like him. And the thing that I think made Bud so great, that was different than other fighters, is that Bud got something in the ring that you can't explain. Like if you watch, if you go back and watch Sugar Ray Leonard in his prime, a fighter like that, it's that when somebody say, well, how you think Bud gonna win? You don't normally have an answer, but Bud gonna win. It's like he gets in the ring and he dissects his opponent to a point where you're like, when he figures it out and he switch up something and he start doing something different, the fight goal changes. Like y'all seen what he did again. Shout out to my guy, another one of my guys, a guy like Showtime Sean Porter. Y'all saw what he did when they said, "Hey, but you losing on the card?" He said, "I'm losing." Went in there and got rid of Sean quick. Errol Spence, that fight was being built up for a long time. Got rid of Errol fast. People didn't even know what to do after that fight. Another good fighter that he back in the past, Jeff Horn. That was a big fight for him. Went in there, did him greasy. Amir Khan. People were talking about, hey man, Amir Khan get that man in trouble. Nah, not really, not Bud. You know what I mean? Not Bud. Bud get the Kell Brook. They be like, oh man, Kell Brook just ain't the same Kell Brook no more. Kell Brook had a fight in between the fight. When he lost the Arrow, with everybody saying Kell Brook looking good, he might come back. Bud boxed the man out the ring. Come on, man, this is Bud we talking about. But this is the man from Omaha, Nebraska. It don't matter. This dude, Bud, and to go back to the undisputed thing that I want to talk about. There's a couple of boxers, in all fairness, right? Like I try to pride myself on being a fair sports person, right? Like that's why I made my channel. I made my channel because I tried to pride myself on being fair and actually talking about the stuff that people don't talk about, where it ain't narratives or anything that's driving my decision. My decision is based on truly what you've seen a person accomplish and what you think of that person after said accomplishments. Like I got a bunch of backlash after the John Jones video I made when he retired, right? That's a whole different situation with the PEDs and stuff. So I totally understand all of that. But it was just when you watch these people fight, this is what you see and this is what you get from it, right? And I try to do that in every sport. So Bud created a argument for the GOAT. Now, I'm not going to get on here and call Bud the GOAT, right? Because time got to pass, things got to settle. We got to see if he comes back. You know, fighters come back and stuff sometimes. But his argument is that he is a 3-time undisputed champ in the 4-belt era. Now, for y'all that don't know what pound for pound is, right? I used to have this argument with one of my homeboys because he doesn't, he's a big Inoue fan. He used to be like, yo, Inoue's #1 pound for pound. I'm like, the problem is when Bud has gone up more divisions than anybody you want to say pound for pound. Now, Usyk is a different situation because Usyk kind of hit the scene even later because Usyk is older too, but he hit the scene later. But the point is, like, when you start at a certain weight, every weight class that you go up, right, kind of establishes what pound for pound means. So pound for pound just means if that fighter and this fighter were the same weight and they fought, who would win? Because of skills, defense, offense, technique, right? In that, Bud actually Bud brought pound to pound for life for us because he started at 135, ended his career at a 168 fight. That means he fought at, the only way he didn't actually fight at is 160. He fought at 154, 147, 140, and 135. Then he jumps 2 classes from 154 to 168 to beat who people had as the #1 pound for pound fighter. And Canelo was #1 pound for pound fighter on most people's lists because how many weight class he has gone up. If you fight in one weight class your whole career, doesn't mean you can't be on the pound for pound because then you would just be a great fighter and people understand that. But pound for pound is like the people who can move up in weight classes and still look the same proves what the pound for pound list is trying to say about these people. Bud had to put on a lot of weight, and when he went up, he looked just like Bud. It didn't change. He dominated Canelo the same way he dominated Errol. And they say, yo, Errol too big for him. He's the smaller guy. Because he was moving up weight class. He only had a couple of fights at 147 at that point. That's what I mean. So Bud's argument is, as far as pound for pound, the weight classes argument, then in the 4-belt era being truly undisputed. Now, there's a difference between being undisputed and truly undisputed in the 4-belt era. And I'm going to try to not be too long-winded, but y'all know Bud is my guy. So I'm just putting the argument out there for y'all. You got, if you win the Ring magazine, like the lineal champ belt, and you have the other 4 belts simultaneously, you are undisputed, right? There's not a lot of people that have done that. So like, if you win all 4 belts in that weight class, but you don't do it all at the same time, right? That's not necessarily the same, right? And then you got certain situations like Floyd. He won the 4th belt in a weight class at a catch weight when he fought Canelo. He didn't fight Canelo at the regular weight, right? But people are going to say, well, Mayweather was undisputed. Even if you want to say that, that's one time. Think about that. Most people's favorite fighter was undisputed one time, but did it 3 times in 3 different weight classes. That's the argument for him. And he's probably the greatest switch hitter that ever lived. And so anytime you want to do a hypothetical matchup with Bud and somebody, you have to be like, has this person ever fought a person who will fight in Southpaw and switch to Orthodox in the 4th or 5th round? Because then you're like fighting a whole new fighter. You train, you're practicing one way, right? And then it's just a whole new fighter at that point. Because Bud got knockout power in both hands. That's the argument. That's the argument for Bud being in the GOAT case. Like I said, I'm not going to say it because the GOAT case in boxing is so much more difficult than other sports right now because you got, the Sugar Ray Robinsons of the world with all these fights and the Marcianos. And then you got people that love Ali, not because of just what he did in the ring, but because of his personality, right? Then you got people who love like Tyson because of how he came into the game. Then you got people who love Floyd, right? Who came into the game hot, but his second half of his career was a defensive masterclass. Like, I'm the best defensive fighter. Nobody can hit me, and I'm gonna beat everybody in this way, and there's nothing nobody can do about it, right? And then you got people who love Manny because people got to realize Manny came in at a real small weight and won a bunch of belts at smaller weights, and then started to accumulate some losses as he got up into higher weights that wasn't really his natural fighting weight. He just got up to those weights. So, yeah, man, that GOAT conversation is going to be crazy. I know, y'all know my other favorite fighter is Roy Jones Jr., and I'm going to have to try to spend the rest of this week thinking to myself, who's my favorite fighter now that they're both done? Like, Roy Jones kind of sparked boxing for me. That's why he's my favorite fighter. Seeing Roy Jones for the first time as a young kid make you say, oh, snap. That's what boxing in, that's lit. Roy Jones was a showman of great sports, but he was also just really that good. But Roy didn't end his career the way Bud got to end it. Bud got to walk away on top. And that's just the beauty of it for Bud. So look, man, y'all know this is gonna be a sad day for me. I'm gonna be celebrating, but I'm gonna be real somber at the same time, man, because y'all know Bud is my guy for the last decade. I could always look at him and say, oh, Bud fighting, that's where I'm gonna be at. That's what my money's on. That's who I believe in. Now I gotta find a new guy in boxing. And that's, y'all know, for y'all that's boxing fans, that's a hard process to put your money and dependency on a new guy. You know what I mean? So, man, y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all let me know where Bud lands on y'all Mount Rushmore. Is he on it? Is he not? What y'all think about his accomplishments, man? And man, y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Everybody have a great day, man. Peace. This your boy Rick. I'm out.